Amelia knew Nicholas was cheating before he confessed. He was paying less attention to her, though he hadn't paid much attention to her in 8 years. He was staying late after work for long periods of time on dubious occasions. He was always carrying his phone and had set a password on it, and Nicholas, who had loved detailed financial reports for himself and his wife, couldn't explain where the money had gone. Cheating? Best friend Vanessa, who had come to Amelie's for tea and global news, gasped. Cheating, Amelia said casually. Cut another pie? I may add additional grated cheese to the filling next time. Why discuss the pie when it's like this? Vanessa raised her hands. You can, calmly replied the housewife, cutting a pie for herself. I will always remember tasty pies, but a guy is there and then gone. So be it. She finally gave her colorless voice some life. Already applied. Meant for divorce. What about him? Nicholas doesn't know. I'll know when he returns tonight. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to a barbecue this weekend. I have to pack. Amelia wrinkled her nose. Despite my long-lost receipts, my mother-in-law adores my kitchen appliances. Then our juicer will take 2 days and the bread maker a week. Let her purchase her own, Vanessa snorted. Or let her son support her. Don't give in, this is your money. Amelia frowned. Sometimes it's simpler to give in than have my mother-in-law find me in Antarctica and demand it back. No problem. I'll upgrade later. Where are you going? To my parents? Maybe, Amelia sighed. She had an easy time emotionally and mentally, but after the divorce, it was harder. Amelia's parents lived on the outskirts in a 1-bedroom. Back in the noughties, they risked selling their lovely 3-room apartment. Amelia had married Nicholas by then, buying a 1-room flat, and investing in business. They believed the investment would return rapidly and make them wealthy, maybe even purchase 3 additional flats. To clarify, Amelia, his real estate share did not start letting 100% profitable parents, nevertheless. Apparently, a distant friend divorced them or let them down, a poor businessman. Simple consequences, no money, no apartment. True, Amelia did not preserve her money since she was a fool in love and gave her husband money in those days. We renovated extensively, he paid off the automobile debt, and he sent his mother-in-law to a sanatorium. It was nice overall. It was odd that Amelia felt so sorry about that money and wanted to weep because she had mistakenly thrown it away when it should have been saved for a rainy day. Amelia also understood that when you married for love, you don't consider about rainy days in the future. Everything seems good. You're together. You exist in harmony, respect, and love. They say forever. Even after Nicholas deceived her, Amelia could agree that genuine love exists. She was unfortunate. I'll get an apartment, I guess, she shrugged. The salary allows. Yes, theoretically, with the salary of a senior accountant in a small firm selling printers and similar equipment, I can afford it, Amelia thought. But there would be so much more to spend. The same loan, which again, naively, I took 6 months ago so that Nicholas could, to please his niece, who for the school graduation wanted to get a smartphone fashionable latest model. What did I have in my head together then, Amelia thought. It's a shame and a shame. But, we need to move on somehow. Let's register you on a dating site, Vanessa suggested, and Amelia almost dropped the cake. Are you crazy? Why? They say new love is the best cure for a broken heart. If I'm ever going to get a guy to meet me, Amelia grumbled. I think he needs fractured nose medication. No. Thank you. I'm fine. Solo living. I may acquire a cat. Or a dog. Why? My spouse is wool allergic, therefore we live alone. Why did he cheat? Vanessa asked. He wanted and cheated, interrupted Amelia, who was becoming bored with the discourse. She wanted to talk. She was weary of lugging everything. No reason is without cause. He cheated for ear tips. How's that answer? Don't be angry, Vanessa sighed. I just want to help. Maybe the passion has gone out of your marriage? Or maybe he has a child there. Amelia froze, not bringing the dessert spoon with the cake to her mouth. She hadn't thought of that option somehow. But it was likely. The thing was, Amelia was infertile. The doctor said there was no chance. And how many tears she shed. And how grateful she was to her husband for not abandoning her. "It's all right," Nicholas comforted her. "Do you know how many in the family there are children? I will take care of them to the best of my ability, to compensate, so to speak, that without their own." The option of taking from an orphanage was not considered. Nicholas said his mom would be totally against it. Period. In general, the opinion of his mother-in-law from the very beginning was the very factor in their relationship and family life that could decide something definitively. Nicholas was very attached to his mother, who, after the boy's father ran away from responsibility, gave his upbringing the best years and sacrificed womanizing happiness, as she herself said. And now Amelia's mind flashed to the thought, was not her mother-in-law aware of his adulteries? Surely she did. And she, of course, kept silent. "I don't care. Everything is already, by and large, do not care." Vanessa, once again, sympathizing with Amelie's family tragedy, finally left. And she went to pack her things. And it wasn't easy. If only because if Amelia had traveled anywhere over the years, one travel bag was enough, but now she had to put such a lot of things somewhere. Not in bags and knots to spread everything out. As a result, Amelia decided to go to the market, and she was just crossing the threshold of the apartment with a few sturdy travel bags and a couple of huge plaid ones when she met Nicholas, who had come home. His eyes were round and his expression was shocked. "Where are you going?" he asked. "I'm leaving you. I'm packing. I've already filed for divorce, by the way." "What did you do? What did you expect, husband?" Amelia put down the luggage bag and put her arms at her sides. "That I'd stay here, all proud that my husband had only taken a mistress on the side and not brought her into our house. I apologized yesterday. What difference does that make? We didn't have time to talk last night, and I could explain. I'll listen to explanations about black holes in space or why dolphins save people, but about why you decided to cheat. No, leave those stories to someone else. It's not that simple, sweetheart. Let me through." Amelia frowned and pushed Nicholas aside with her shoulder. "I don't need more of these gestures of not letting go. I owe you an explanation," he said. "Just know that I'll listen to the radio on the bus more than you." Amelia smiled darkly and started packing. Nicholas spoke. Before meeting Amelia, Nicholas was a green graduate in love with his classmate Clara. Friend, acquaintance, and even casual strangers stated they were a gorgeous pair. But the kids' parents disagreed. Each party believed their own kid, now an adult, was too stupid to pick her own soul match. Both parties believed the party was inappropriate. Everything seems simple, it's the 21st century, therefore you can figure it out without parents' help. But Clara, unlike Nicholas, was not ready for revolt. She agreed with her parents. Breakup was necessary. Nicholas told Amelia that if there was another guy between them, he would have protected his love. But Clara, with tears in her eyes, said she would love him but could not be with him since she would lose her parents' love, respect, and support. No matter, Nicholas could do nothing. He couldn't become a monster who ruined a family for selfish love. Keeping friends was his offer. Clara suggested it may work. It didn't. Nicholas found it too terrible to talk with her, see her, and understand she wasn't his. They stopped talking, and he met Amelia at this trying time. Nicholas stated he had a great life with her, no regrets or sadness. "Then how did it come to this?" inquired Eve. "Your Clara divorced her husband? Remembered your first love?" "No," Nicholas shook his head. "It's not that simple. It turned out that Clara for a long time could not arrange a personal life, she devoted herself to her career, she took care of her parents and enthusiastically participated in the life of her cousin's children. And then true love came into her life and 6 years ago she finally got married. She invited me to the wedding," Nicholas explained. "I was traveling for 2 days. I attended the wedding. Why didn't you join me? Nicholas shrugged. I don't understand myself. It doesn't matter, Amelia murmured. She was suspicious. Did you realize you still loved her? You hate me? I simply want to know. No. I was pleased for her then. I imagined her marrying me. I recalled our wedding. With you. I felt Clara and I were fortunate. In our own way, with others, we enjoyed family bliss for her and myself. We chatted later, talked, and shared vacation photographs. They have son. They named him Alan. A boy? He looks like his father. Nicholas was silent for a long time, looking out the window. Amelia didn't rush him. She only thought that her husband was gathering his strength to go on and tell her something important, something that would clarify everything. He was dead. Clara's husband. A year ago in a car accident. And her parents, too. The four of them were in the car. Clara survived, as the doctors say, by a miracle. Amelia gasped. No matter how she felt about the woman, she couldn't help but sympathize with such a terrible loss. It was simply horrible. Clara was strong, Nicholas continued. She realized she had to watch her kid. I visited sometimes. And? Gradually. Would you believe me if I said I didn't consider anything at first? I only wanted to cheer her up. I occasionally took her to the market or helped her with papers or inheritance. We used to stroll Alan at the park. And then, Nicholas swallowed hard, and it was clear that this part of the story was not easy for him. I suddenly realized that I looked at Clara differently. You see, in my imagination I began to try on the role of her husband. Alan's father. I suddenly thought I could have a normal and complete family. I'm sorry. I'm saying the most horrible things. You don't have to go on. Amelia went into the kitchen, stood at the sink and began to wash a cup. Then she realized that it was clean, and with a nervous gesture that almost broke it, she put it back. One minute I wanted to drink tea, the next I didn't. In general, you decided to exchange one broken wife infertile for a wife with a child? Well, it's convenient, what can I say? And profitable. She needs you very much, a support, a protector, a breadwinner. You know, if it makes you feel better, you can hit me. Nicholas lowered his head. I won't. Well, I'd hit you, but what good would it do? Would it start the time machine? No? Then there's no point. Anyway, that's enough. Let's keep talking, but let's change the subject, okay? I filed the divorce papers and now we have to decide. You have to get those papers, Nicholas said in a muffled voice. We can't get divorced. Did I hear that? Amelia's jaw almost dropped. What do you want? I don't understand what you're trying to do. You want to leave your wife and your mistress and child? You know, I didn't expect such insolence from you. It's out of line. You misunderstood. Nicholas looked at his wife carefully. As if he wanted to burn a hole with his gaze. It's not like that. What about it? Amelia's nerves were floundering, a thread thinner than silk, and her eyes were getting a little darker. Explain it already. And Nicholas explained. In short, chopped phrases, he laid out the terrible truth. It turned out that Clara had recently been diagnosed with a disease. She had only a few months to live. And she dared to ask Nicholas for one thing. She wanted him to adopt Alan after she died. So that he and Amelia could be his parents. The thing was, Clara's relatives refused to take the boy in. Suddenly, the people she thought of for years as her loved ones suddenly showed that they weren't ready for such responsibility. Some of them didn't need children at all, others had enough of their own. It turned out that Alan risked going to an orphanage. Unless Nicholas and Amelia took him in. We were already going to meet you, I mean, Clara was getting ready to talk to you the other day, because, of course, you can't decide something like this alone. And you know. She understands that you can refuse. I didn't promise her anything for you, believe me. I know it's not what you were hoping for. And Alan. He's not your son, is he? Amelia asked suspiciously. Exactly, Nicholas sighed. We can do a genetic test. He's from another man, for sure. So you are ready to adopt the child of your first and not forgotten for years of love, even though the child is not yours? That is so weird. I just don't know how you came to this decision. I don't know myself, Nicholas said. I instantly realized I cannot chuck this child. But? Don't respond immediately, please. Not easy. I need to think about it, and there's probably more to talk. But you. Think about it, okay? Amelia believed she dreamed. It was her nightmare. Unable to wake, she nods. Okay. Need a few days. Don't discuss this again, okay? Please live as neighbors. Nicholas consented. He seldom spoke about it again for a few days and had little interaction with his wife. Amelia thought. However, it didn't fit her head. She quickly ruled out consulting her parents. She chose not to bother them with her own problems. However, Vanessa had to tell everything the following day since her buddy saw Amelia and understood she had something more serious than the divorce procedures. I don't even know what to say, Vanessa said after she'd found out. If even you've run out of words, then it's not good at all. Amelia tried to lighten the atmosphere with a joke. You see, if you think logically, then I can probably agree like a fool. And they will ride on you, picked up Vanessa. Aha! But there's another option. You know, I've always wanted kids. The joy of motherhood. And I loved Nicholas. So maybe. Is this our chance? It's scary that it's come up like this, it's scary. But maybe we should take a chance even then. Amelia took a breath. Would we have a family? And his soul will be reassured that he did the right thing, didn't betray the one he once loved. It's confusing. Strange. Unpredictable, Vanessa shook her head. Naturally, it's your choice. Amelia felt she'd never seen her husband so delighted when she informed him she was ready to meet Clara. Amelia decided. She determined to work on herself, break her pride, and do something different. But she would. Getting divorced now might be preferable than bitter loneliness. Then what's next for her? Who'll want her? So forgiveness and acceptance are the only options. Story over. And then. So be it. Clara was kind and beautiful. Amelie loved her son. Hello, she smiled at Alan. This is for you, she handed him a present, a purple stuffed rabbit. Thank you, the youngster answered. Would you like cake? Mommy bought cake. Drinking tea together. When they started talking about nothing, they were less apprehensive. Alan was put to watch cartoons, while grown-ups discussed the toughest topics. Clara tried therapy, but specialists claimed it was pointless. However, medicine was needed to reduce discomfort. Amelia remarked, "Call me if you need anything," as they left. Anytime. Well, you're not alone. We're in. Vanessa felt so sorry for Amelia that she sobbed, yet she still called her an idiot. That she may seek happiness elsewhere. Maybe a widower with kids might meet her. Amelia insisted he might not. And please. Don't sway me, I've decided. Amelia took the divorce papers. She and Nicholas started preparing Alan's adoption paperwork. Now Amelia usually accompanied her husband to Clara. Nicholas also declared that he and Clara had only been intimate once and would never do so again. Amelia appreciated her husband's tact. She then claimed she didn't mind, feeling stupid. Clara needed all the love, care, and attention he could offer her. Time went swiftly. Clara went to a private facility in the next city because her doctor suggested, and Alan moved into Amelia and Nicholas' flat. Then a tsunami struck Amelia. She fell into what she called maternal love for this child. She lavished Alan with her spare time. She had clear images of her and her husband bringing Alan to first grade. She envisioned their July picnic. Alan then matured. He'll be a good child. He would be, but he would call her mom instead of Aunt Amelia. Amelia instantly realized she was happy. Amelia couldn't prevent herself from being glad when it came from someone else's nightmare, although it was wrong. So that occurred. Clara contacted Nicholas one day when she was back in town and had a lengthy talk. He hung up and looked at his wife, white as chalk. "What's wrong?" Amelia placed her hand on her heart. "Is she worse?" She felt they had 2 months left. Nick remarked, "Clara's not sick anymore," blinking. "She recovered." "The drug?" "Just one medication. It works. Doctors said less than 10%. Still, it worked. Her health is improving." Amelia sat up. Thank goodness there was a chair below to save her from falling. Tears fell. What joy! A person will live. Child won't be orphaned. The delight was immense. However, Amelia did not link the alterations to what would follow. She finally thought about it. Oh! It felt like lightning. She quickly understood Clara was her husband's mistress. And he likes her. What's stopping them from maintaining their relationship? Nicholas might be Alan's dad. Amelia isn't even involved. Nicholas was the first to mention it. Oh, Amelia snorted, peering into her cup of tea as if she could see the future in the tea settling at the bottom. "Clara wants me to divorce you so we may marry. I think I understand her. New life. New horizons. Can I be serious? Do you think I'm kidding? No, that's dark ingratitude. I was ready to raise someone else's kid, and she's not shy. She wants to steal a husband? Her impudence makes me jealous. That's impossible for me. Wouldn't it make life easier?" Nicholas seldom called Amelia by her first name. But now he did. His hand covered hers. "Actually, I disagreed with her." Amelia asked what? In a neutral tone. If her husband had told her he was going to explore Mars, she would have known more quickly. "I don't want that," Nicholas shook his head. "I don't know how it happened. I don't know how the way I felt about her burned out. Maybe I've gotten used to the fact that she's gone from my life. No. You know, it's not like that. I just realized." "Realized what?" "What you were willing to do for me. For our family. Actually, I was willing to do it for me, too. I wanted a real family and a child, too," Amelia admitted. "If you were filthy and I didn't like you, I wouldn't have agreed. And that means," Nicholas picked up on that, "that we mean something to each other, don't we? And I'll tell you what. I said no to Clara. And I'll say no 1,000 more times. That's it. That's it. What about Alan?" Amelia's voice trembled. "He's a good boy," Nicholas said. "I've grown attached to him. We're together, but he's not my son. And I think he'll be better off when his mom meets some man, single originally, and he becomes a father to him. Then everything will be right. Yeah, I think they'll do well in the future." And then something happened in Amelia's life that she wasn't prepared for. Nicholas said it might be time for them to take a child from the orphanage. "Just a little baby, a baby." "But your mother," Amelia began, but her husband did not let her finish. "I was ready to go against her opinion when we thought of taking Alan. So why should I look back at him now? In fact, I should have realized this a long time ago. That you and I have our own separate lives. And it's up to us to decide what happens to it." Less than a year later, Amelia and Nicholas became foster parents to 2 babies at once, twins Amanda and Bertie. And they loved them with all their hearts immediately and forever. And even Amelia's mother-in-law eventually came to terms with their decision and also became attached to the babies. And then they found out that Clara was getting married. And she called Nicholas and Amelia to her wedding, offering to make up and be friends. But they refused. Because they decided it was time to finally close this chapter in their lives and start a little bit of a new beginning for their family and only their family.